So basically, we saw that there was a nationwide Second Amendment rally planned at the state capitals, and noticed that there was nothing going on here in Idaho. And Ace reached out to me and asked if we can kind of take the lead and get it going, you know. And I didn't want Idaho to miss out, and we'd seen a lot of people asking when we were going to rally on a lot of the different Second Amendment pages and groups out there, and to kind of respond to all the stuff that's been going on lately. And you know, I know there's some rallies planned for later on this year. You know, Idaho Second Amendment Alliance is planning one in September, and we were already planning a rally for Patriots Day. There he is. We were already planning a rally for Patriots Day. Hold on one second here. Bring Ace in. Says it's adding you, man. There you are.
What's up, bro?
Buddy?
How you doing, man?
Yeah. We got the technology, man.
Man, how about that? That surprises me. Each and every time it works, I'm surprised by it.
Yeah, me too. They didn't have this stuff when I went to jail, man. I came out in Facebook Live. I was blown away.
People flying around cars in the sky and shit, huh?
I saw a hoverboard just a minute ago.
Yeah, see, didn't have those.
So basically, man, I just wanted to get on here and kind of talk about what was going on. So fill us in. What's with the Second Amendment rally?
Okay, so April the 14th, at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time is the guide. So 1 o'clock Central Standard Time, it's going to be noon Eastern Time. It's going to be 2 o'clock Eastern Time, noon Mountain Time, and then out on the West Coast, it's going to be 11 o'clock in the afternoon.
So that's noon for us, Idaho.
Noon for you guys, and basically what that's going to be, man, is everybody in all 50 states are it's a march on your state capital for gun rights. It's basically to remind legislators in all 50 states that look at us, we are still here, we are still the majority. We all believe in the Constitution. Basically, we're uniting arms from state to state to state. Everybody interlock shoulder to shoulder. You know, I just released a new shirt, man. I will not comply, and I wanted to put each state under the I will not comply, because I want to remind our legislators, our elected officials, that hey, look, what you see on the mainstream TV news media with these kids walking out of school and all these people protesting the Constitution is black and white. It's not up for debate. At no point I don't even know why we're having this discussion. The Constitution is the Constitution. We are not losing or giving away anything else.
No,
that's what this rally is all about.
And you know, I started pushing it out there a little bit over here after we talked about us taking it and trying to get it going. I'm gonna do some news interviews, radio show interviews this week, and I actually got in contact with. Well, I'm working on getting in contact with a high school student over there near Boise who started a group, basically a pro Second Amendment, common sense. You know, they like that common sense legislation, right? So a common sense pro Second Amendment, security, arming the teachers group, and we're gonna try to get him out there and to speak to the crowd, and I think it's gonna be pretty cool. You know, they got their kids out there doing stuff, and I want to show that there's the other side of that too.
Sure.
That there's kids that are smart. You know, I see a lot of people. You know, they're not all eating Tide Pods, right?
Or snorting condoms.
Snorting condoms and eating Tide Pods. You know, so we reached out to them. And hopefully we're gonna be able to get them and some of the other kids from the high school to come and speak. We got the Capitol reserved.
Good.
Got a PA system, and we're definitely going to be out there.
You know, Eric, you know this better than anybody. I mean, you actually went to jail for it. But the majority of the people who believe, we are still the majority. There are more of us than there are of people who are against any form or any legislation against the Constitution. There are more of us. But we are less likely to stand up a lot of times because we sit back on our hands and wait to the last possible minute. And before you know it, we can physically look out of the window and watch our rights walking away. And then we have these discussions in Facebook groups and say, man, I can't believe our legislators are doing this. Man, I cannot believe our legislators are doing that. When we allowed it, we are compliant to the point that they're taking things away from us. We watch them leave, and then we come to social media and we gripe and bitch and complain about it. We have to start standing up before those things are leaving, because once you lose a right, you're not getting it back. You stood up, you took that ultimate and spent years in prison for standing up, and it still hasn't deterred you.
No.
It is ever. And
no, more so. I mean, I'll tell you, Ace, you came and visited me in there. You saw, there was times where I thought the communists were going to hang me, in Times Square. But I know now, having been freed from that, what I'm supposed to be doing. Right. I don't want to go as far as to be, but I know. We'll just say that. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I know why I got freed. I know why I'm not sitting in a cell. And
Eric, you said that to me when you were in jail. When I was visiting you in jail, on the other side of that TV screen, you said to me, man, what are these rallies and what are those and how do we get involved in that? I said, man, look, slow down, pump the brakes. Pump the brakes, man.
Well, I can still do stuff from in there. I'll get on the phone and record. They can't shut me up.
It blew my mind. I was blown away. I walked out of there telling your wife, man, I cannot believe his drive. I've always said, and I've told you this story, the reason that I was so motivated was because of Bunkerville in 2014. And that inspired me to do everything that I've done since then. But to see you in jail, talking to you, coming to visit you in jail, and you saying, man, I can't wait till we get out and I can get involved in this and I get involved in that, never, not one time being deterred. That is the ultimate, man. That is what everybody should feel that way. As Americans, having children in this country, if you want them to be able to experience the rights that we have today, it's our requirement that we stand up and defend those. And that Amen. Is where, as a parent, as a father, and a mother, it's a requirement. It's no longer, we can't look at this any longer as, man, you know what, if I can get off or if I can scrape up enough gas money. There are people going to these rallies in every city, in every town, in every part of this country. If you can't get there, call somebody. They'll give you a ride. I have 3 open seats in Tennessee. If anybody needs a ride,
tell us what's going on in some of these other states.
Yeah, so Florida is doing it. Florida's doing it up. So gun shops in Florida have gotten together, banded together, and they're paying for buses. They're renting buses that are busing people from Miami and Orlando and Pensacola and all of these other places to bus them to Tallahassee. Gun shops are closing down on Saturday, so nobody's out shopping for guns. And this always frustrated me. I would go to a gun show in Tennessee or somewhere in the country, and I would see 50,000 people on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at a gun show. But when we go to a rally to stand up for gun rights at our state capitals or go to a pro-gun rally, you may have 500 people there. People want to go out, and if it's fits inside their schedule, or if they can't find an excuse not to, right? An old friend of mine told me this is a great way to live your life. You do what you want to do 100% of the time. Mm-hmm. People do what they want to do 100% of the time, and people have for too long been complacent, set back around, and there's other states that are doing the same thing. Florida is renting buses. Gun shops are coming together to pay for buses, so people can't give that excuse. Man, I don't have the money. I can't afford to get up there. I can't afford to take off work. Man, if you can't call in sick for one day, well, you probably need another job anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt. We got a guy over in the Boise area. He went and handed out flyers at the gun stores last week.
Yeah.
And one of the owners of the gun store was like, well, yeah, man, I can't close, you know, but there was this young kid working the desk, and he looked over at him. He's like, you want half the day off, you know? So, I mean, if it matters to you just be honest with them. You know, it matters to people, you know, say, hey, we
Right.
need to go do this. And if they can't go, maybe they'll help you get there, you know?
That's
Um,
right. That's
we,
right.
you know, here in Idaho, you're talking about resting on our laurels and stuff. And here in Idaho, there's a lot of that because everybody thinks, you know, we're in Idaho, and it's not a big deal to us. You know, we don't have
Don't
to
have
worry
to worry
about
about
that. But I mean, I was very involved with the legislature this year, and I watched Republicans block good gun legislation, and these are alleged Republicans. These are supposed to be the guys making sure we're okay, making sure we can rest on our laurels here, and they're blocking it, and they're blocking the good gun legislation. And so, I mean, we really need to get out there. A lot of times, you know, here in Idaho, we actually passed a law that nullifies any federal gun control.
it. Hmm.
Anytime, if this happens, we've already said we're nullifying it. You know,
Right.
and that's good. That's, you know, I understand we have that law in place, but the fact of the matter is the feds don't care. You
Right.
know, we got to keep showing our legislators and frankly the country that we're not going to comply. Like you said, you know, it's you know, go ahead and do it. I dare you.
Yeah.
I dare
Yeah.
you to do it.
And what's important is for places like Idaho, and I live in Tennessee, so we sit back in Tennessee a lot of times and say the same thing. And we're in Tennessee, we don't have anything to worry about. 2 weeks ago, they did put some legislation. Democrats put some legislation in Tennessee that was anti-gun, but for states that are doing so well with restricting gun rights or restricting more gun control, meant those are the states that should be helping us the most. Or states like Colorado or states like Oregon and Washington State. If Idaho says, man, you know what, Idaho's squared away, well, maybe you can go to Colorado, maybe you can go to across the border into Oregon and
Mm-hmm.
help them out, or go to Washington State. See, we're all in this together. And oftentimes, in fact, you hear people in Texas all the time say, well, that won't happen in Texas. Well, look, Texas is a part of us. So if it's happening in Colorado and you live in northern Texas, then you should go to Colorado and assist those people. I mean, help
Yeah,
them.
absolutely. You know, Oregon's got some big fights going on, and so does Washington State,
Right.
and you know that's a fact. And frankly, you know, I mean, Idaho is one of the #1 growing states in the union, and the more, I don't know how to say it, we've watched these states go south and turn
Right.
purple and
Right.
start to change,
Right.
and it doesn't mean it can't happen here, you know.
Yep.
So
That's right.
we
The
need
more
to
people
not
that
be
we,
the silent majority. We need to be the loud majority that says, hey,
yeah.
you know, no.
Yeah, California's gotten so expensive to live with taxes and everything else. People are leaving California. They're flooding into Idaho. They're flooding into Texas. They're flooding into Florida, cheaper places to live. But they flood into those places still having and holding on to their political views that they had in California. So they've ruined California. It's impossible to live in California unless you make $1 million a year because you can't pay taxes, right? So you're going to move into other states where taxes are lower, and then you're going to change those states into what you just left. That's the reason that it affects everybody. It affects every state, all 50 states, all 50 capitals on the 14th, everybody coming together to stand up for this one event and say, look at us, we're here, we're not backing down, we're not going to comply, we're not going to give in, and we're damn sure not scared of our legislators. People forget that they work for us. They're our employees.
Mm-hmm.
And they even forget that. It's crazy.
They do.
That sounds.
Especially the longer they've been in there. You know, that Republican I was talking about, he's the longest sitting legislator in our state history. You know, and what's he doing? He's working against the people. You know, Idaho Second Amendment Alliance had like 70,000 signatures for this castle doctrine that they wanted passed. You know, and here we are in Idaho. We're supposed to be all right. But if somebody breaks into my house at 2 a.m. and I shoot them, then I have to prove that there was no other course of action and
Right.
that they were there to commit a felony. I'm sorry, if you're standing in my living room with a ski mask at 4 a.m,
Yeah.
I'm not going to
What
take
else
that
do you
chance.
need? What else do
You
you
know,
need? Hey, yeah, sit down on the couch, brother. Let me ask you why you're here in my house. Why you
yeah,
broke the door
yeah.
to get in at 4 o'clock in the morning?
4 o'clock in
Yeah,
the
so
morning, and
that's
it's
ridiculous.
on the person to prove their innocence, and so
Right.
we get this, uh, real common sense gun law, and we introduce it, and we get signatures and everything else, and he holds it in committee.
Right.
This is supposed to be uh, um, we're supposed to be safe, but we're really not. We got a guy running against this jerk too. So by the way, from over there in Eastern Idaho, and Chad Christensen. If you're in Eastern Idaho, vote Chad Christensen.
Listen up, Idaho. Hey, I meant to ask you the other day when we talked on the phone. Are you going to make it to the Patriot Summit, North Carolina?
No, I don't think I
No.
am, man. I'm still waiting for sentencing. They pushed back my sentencing,
Okay.
and it's kind of a pain in the ass to leave the state right now. So
Okay. All right.
probably not.
Have you thought anything about the Moore rally in September? September the
Yeah,
8th?
me and Andrew were talking about that.
So put that out. I've been telling Tommy that I would tell people, hey, look, the Moore rally. Tommy Hodges, the guy who puts the Moore rally on, his Facebook page was taken down, and he woke up one day and boom, all of a sudden it was gone. So the Moore rally is still a go. People are asking, man, since Tommy's page is down, is it still a go? Tommy still has POA TV. You can find Tommy Hodges at POA TV. But yeah, the Moore rally still. He sent me a text message a while ago, sending me a video of a guy that's speaking, one of the speakers that's going to be there. If you could make it, man, for 100%, I'd love to get you on stage.
I'd love to make it, man. I'm gonna have to wait till we get closer and see what's going on.
Okay. Yeah,
You
right on.
know, you know
Right
me,
on.
man. I'm running around this state like a chicken with my head cut off, man.
Every time I
And
see you, man.
so
I
we'll see what's going on.
I just saw David Clayton click into the video. David is the organizer for the nationwide rally on the 14th. So if anybody has any questions, you're welcome to contact David Clayton. You can also type in NCCPA and then your state. So NCCPA Idaho, NCCPA Tennessee, and those are the state chapters for the rally. Again, there are no excuses. If you can't make it to the rally because you can't afford it, then reach out to somebody in your state, and I guarantee you that they will get you a ride there. People are coming from all over the state into the state capital, so there's going to be similar to this, be able to get you a ride. Just come out, stand for a few hours. I say this all the time, Eric. You know this better than anybody. Once you stand up, you're never going to want to sit back down. So
Absolutely.
Come out and meet your brothers and sisters. Stand shoulder to shoulder. Meet family that you've never met before, and that's how we feel. I mean, that's what it's about. This is bigger than myself. It's bigger than Eric Parker. This is about the generations that come behind us, all of us. And man, you have a brother in me, Eric. I've told you that from the beginning. I super respect everything you've done for us and still continue to do for your country. You're the definition.
I appreciate it, Ace, man. I tell you, I appreciated it when you came to the stand event down there and rallied them up for me in there, man. It's kept the morale high. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would do it again.
So it's noon here in Idaho.
Yep.
It's a Second Amendment rally. I've seen it all over Facebook. Everybody's asking, when are we going to rally? When are we going to get together? April 14th, 12 o'clock. We're going to be out there a little earlier. We got the PA system. Come down, mingle, put on all your bling, get dressed up. It's open carry. Bring your stuff. We can carry right there at the Capitol. Our laws, Idaho. We're all good. Come out and see us. Also, I wanted to let you guys know while we're talking here. The reason I was hesitating to get involved is we were already planning something here in Idaho on April 19th, and most of you know that's the anniversary of Concord and Lexington Green, and what we're gonna do is we're going to go up and we're going to muster. We have a Liberty tree, Ace, across from the Capitol. It's
nice.
It's it's the Liberty tree. And we're going to gather there at the Liberty tree, and we're going to have a remembrance for those men that died on that bridge, 1775. And I'll tell you, it's important to me. April 19th, one, it's a state holiday. We got a proclamation from the governor. It's a state holiday. So if your boss is giving you grief, you tell them it's a state holiday. We got a proclamation from the governor. You're going. And we're going to get out there, and we got a lot of speakers lined up from the Liberty Academy. I'm going to do some speaking. We've got the okay to fire off a musket for the shot heard around the world. And we're going to gather there in remembrance for those men that manned the gap. You know, that's really important to me. It's how our nation was founded. Number one, I mean, we all know what the British were doing. You know, it's relevant to this because we all know what the British were doing. They were confiscating guns, and farmers and shopkeepers and ranchers and average family men grabbed their muskets. They mustered and they said, "No, sir, no." And that's how our country started. And we're going to gather there in remembrance of them, and also to tell them we're not afraid to do it again. You know, that's who we are. And if you want to try it, by all means, watch what happens. Those same bloodlines, those same farmers, those same ranchers, those same shopkeepers, those same family men will come and stand in the gap. You know, we're going to try to read off the names of the men that died there
awesome.
on the bridge, and it's a state holiday. We want to see it turn into something every year here in Idaho. April 19th. If that matters to you, come out and remember those men.
Eric, I have a 1776 speech that I've given several times. Andrea heard it. I gave it at the Moore rally. I like to give it real quick, just real fast. It's motivational, and it fires me up, and I think it fires other people up. And it goes exactly in line with what you're talking about there. 241 years ago, there were men and women, the U's and I's, farmers, ranchers, loggers, blacksmith. They mustered together, they came together as one, and they decided, you know what? This tyrannical government has pushed us and bullied us for far too long. 241 years ago, there were men and women who fought at the time the greatest military in the world, the British Army. They didn't fight them with the greatest weaponry or the most numbers. They fought them with heart, will, drive, and determination because they wanted to be free. They fought. They fought them not for themselves, but they fought them for all of the generations to come behind them. 241 years ago, that there were 3%. The 3% that stood up and decided that we're going to band together as brothers and sisters to fight the greatest military in the world to gain our independence. They did that not for themselves. They did that for their children. They did that for their children's children. And for the last 241 years, we've sat back and we've watched the rights walk away that they fought so hard to gain. 241 years ago, there were 3%. Today, there are still 3%. And Eric, you know better than anybody, we are actually the 3% of the 3% because everybody gets 3% tattoos, 3% hats, or has 3% apparel. But only the 3% of the 3% go out and stand up at events. 241 years ago, man, be the man of 241 years ago for your kids, for your kids' kids, for your great-grandkids that you'll never meet. You'll never get to shake those hands or hug those necks, but be the man for them, not for the history books, but so they can enjoy the same liberty that you and I enjoy today.
Amen.
That's what it's all
Amen.
about.
You know, when I went, we're talking about bridges and 3% and stuff, and, you know, when I went to Bunkerville, you know, I knew what the 3% was. I just thought it was a mindset, you know, and
Right.
and it is. It's a mindset, and but all I was a pissed off electrician, you know. That's I saw people being hurt and whatnot, and that's, you know, that's what it's about. You know, yeah, we've formed organizations and we've you know, started to organize more and everything else, but I'll tell you, when when I went there, and you know, I wasn't doing this before. That my life changed that day, and that's, you know, I take it serious when this is serious, you know. Um,
It's so serious, in fact, that you serve time in prison for doing it and still continue to do it today. You know what I'm saying?
this is my life, Ace. You know, the thought I had up on that bridge was, did I do everything I could to keep this from happening? You know, and I couldn't answer myself truthfully and say yes. Um, you know, I couldn't tell myself I did everything that I could to make sure we as Americans didn't go here to
Right.
this spot.
Right.
And after it was over, I told myself, you know, God forbid if that ever happens again, I'm going to be able to tell myself I did everything I could to make sure nothing ever escalated to that again.
Right.
And that we can handle it in other ways, and we can make our due diligence and do it. And if it does go there, we'll be there. But
Yep.
can we tell ourselves that we did everything to make sure it didn't happen?
Yeah.
You know, that's important. A lot of guys are running around with their guns, and they're like, well, when the shooting starts, I'll be there. And well, that's bullshit, man.
Right.
The fight is right now. The fight at hand is right now. And
Right.
believe me, as somebody that's been in the position, you're gonna think, did I do everything that I could to make sure this didn't happen? Because when shit gets serious, it's no longer talking. And I'll tell you, you know, that's the one thing that was in my mind. Did I do enough? And I couldn't tell myself I did. And that won't happen again.
I know that feeling very well. I can leave the greatest rally that I've ever planned, walk away from it an hour later, and I'm looking for other things. I'm like, man, you know what? Today was a good day. It was successful, but I want more. I want more. And I say that in my videos. We're not doing enough. That's how I feel. I lay in bed at night, sleep on my pillow, and think, man, I can't go to sleep today because I didn't do this, and I wanted to get this accomplished, and I need that. I drive off of that. And we all need to do that, man, and find the thing that is, I tell people this, everybody has a role inside of this. Everybody has a niche or something that they're good at. There are people that are great with technology stuff, and they can build commercials or build, you know, share social media videos and build hyperlinks and websites and all of those types of things. There are people that maybe they're disabled, but they can pass out flyers, they make phone calls. Find the thing that you yourself can do, your niche, your thing, and be a part.
We need everybody. We need everybody. Man, I say it all the time. 14 men for every one in a pair of boots on the field.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
We need everybody. Everybody's got something to offer.
Yep.
You know, if you can't make it, you can't do this, you can't do that. Help somebody else get there. Help. You know, we need 14 for everyone in the field. And that's, you know, that's what I live by that. I tell them all that all the time. Yep. You know, there's always something that needs to be done. You know, jump in.
Yep. Agreed, man. Eric, it's always a pleasure to see you, man, to see your face and talk to you and hear your knowledge. I draw a lot of inspiration from you. I tell you that all the time, and I appreciate it, man. I just appreciate you continuing to stand up. I know you got a wonderful family. I love your wife dearly and your kids, and I can't wait to see you again someday, real soon.
Oh, yeah, it's going to happen, Ace. We're going to get together.
Good deal.
So one more time, April 14th, Second Amendment rally at the Capitol, 12 o'clock. April 19th, Patriots Day. It's a national holiday, Idaho. An Idaho holiday. It's a state holiday. Proclamation from the governor. We're going to read the proclamation. We're going to go there. We're going to muster. We're going to remember those people. We're going to fire off a shot for them. That shot heard around the world. It's going to be a fun day. Come out. And that's going to be at noon too. 11 o'clock on the 19th. And yeah, man, it's good to talk to you, brother.
You too, man. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll talk to you real soon.
All right.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks, Ace.